All right, boys, no fluff, no crazy edits. We're going to get straight into the niche growth method for Instagram. And what this is going to allow you to do is finally start making and creating primed IG accounts. So your Instagram accounts will now finally start seeing the views they deserve and actually going viral and making you more sales. Everybody knows the huge hamster wheel of constantly trying to find that next primed IG, and every IG account you make, it only gets like 500 views or maybe even 1,000 views, but it's always stuck at like that 1,000 view range. You've never went viral on Instagram, but yet you see everybody and their brother printing with organic, and almost always they're like, yeah, it's because of a primed IG, it's a primed IG. And you have all this FOMO and you hate your life. So hopefully what this video does is make you not hate your life. And once you see this strategy and you start implementing it, you can actually go out there and start printing views and sales from Instagram a lot more consistently and start having just such a higher success rate in terms of having and creating primed IGs. So as you can already see here, we're going over the niche growth method for Instagram. This is the best method for creating a primed IG that actually gets views. Now we're going to get into the full strategy in just a second, but before we actually get into what it is, I want to explain why it's such a big deal and why this method in and of itself is one of the biggest things this space has seen in a while. Honestly, in terms of actually solving a huge problem that everybody has, it's kind of crazy. So a lot of us already know, but if you don't know, close to 80% of all organic dropshipping sales are happening on Instagram right now. All these guys, even me myself, all these guys you see doing anywhere from 20 to 50K a month, 50K months, 100K months, they have like 10K days. Almost always, 99.9% of the time, it's because they have a primed IG. So if you want to really start seeing consistent results with organic dropshipping and actually consistently make money long-term with organic, you're gonna have to have a primed IG, and in all reality, probably multiple primed IGs. And that's because Instagram is the most consistent when it comes to views, and they have such longer lifespans than TikTok accounts. With TikTok, especially TikTok Shop coming into the mix, honestly, ever since TikTok Shop even became a thing, TikTok has done nothing but go downhill. Targeting is horrible. Even products that are converting at like 5K per mil, you can run them on TikTok and they'll only convert 500 per mil for absolutely no reason at all. Even after you get a viral video, it's short-lived, and then when you go to replicate it, it never does anywhere near what it originally did. The list goes on and on. So TikTok is horrible. IG is everything if you want to make serious money with organic. And that's why this lesson is so valuable. And once again, just to top it all off, this 34+K month I had last month, all of these are from primed IGs. I barely even use TikTok anymore at this point. That's not me saying, okay, now go out there and don't use TikTok. You can still make sales from TikTok, and you should still make accounts and post on TikTok. But the point I'm trying to drive here is IG is just better, and that's where majority of your focus should go. So let's just jump straight into the entire strategy, all the way from creating the account. If you already have a primed IG, you will umbrella your new account from that IG. So if you already just so happen to have a primed IG on your account, the highest success rate you'll have with an account performing well once you create it is doing what we call umbrellaing, which is when you're already on the primed IG's account and then you go to create a new account, it will allow you to bypass creating the account with a new email, and it will say something like create from existing account or create with existing profile, something along those lines. You'll click that button if you already have a primed IG. All of these that I'm about to name off right here, these are all basically methods that everybody's used in the past, and the methods we've seen with the highest success rate when it actually comes to creating a primed IG, or basically the traits certain accounts have when they actually do start popping off. And that's what all three of these are. And they're almost basically ranked. So the very best success rate we've seen is umbrellaing. The second best would be, if you don't have a primed IG, use an aged account that you already have on your phone, because that's a lot of the time the biggest ordeal with getting a primed IG is just the age. There's nothing crazy. There's nothing fancy with it. So if you already have some random account on your phone that's just been sitting there dormant, or you've cycled a few products through, that's also going to be your next best bet in terms of it getting primed quickly. Now, if you have none of the above, make a new account, but at the very least, use an aged email. Once again, this is just another strategy that we've used for a while now in terms of when seeing what dictates a good performing Instagram account. Now, it would be realistic to say that in the order these are is kind of their ranking in terms of best to worst. But as a disclaimer, I do want to let you know that it is still possible to prime an IG with a brand new email and a brand new account. The above methods just have the highest success rate of hitting sooner. Once again, creating the account and the account creating process, if I could speak, sorry, it barely matters, but I personally brand the account from the very beginning. This way, I avoid any issues occurring after changing the name or anything of that sort after I get the account primed. I'm just superstitious, it could or could not matter. That's just personally what I do, because I would hate to get my account primed and then, I'm starting to post for the product on there, and then it has some random name, random branding, and then I have to rebrand it for it to actually convert. And then that rebranding somehow affect the views and the momentum that the account has. So that's why I just choose to do it beforehand. Now, let's get into the really fun stuff. This is going to be the posting strategy. And after we go over this, we're going to go over when to start posting for your product and some best practices to keep in mind. So for the actual posting strategy itself, it's very straightforward, but there is a few kind of techniques, if you will, and some things to look out for. So very first thing you're going to do is search for large accounts in your niche or the niche of the product that you're going to run on that account. And I do want to point out, it's going to be really the best of both worlds. Everything's going to be better if you try to prime your account within your niche. And all that basically means is no different than the way you create a TikTok burner account. You're going to do that same process for Instagram. Also, just as a quick tip, do this for TikTok as well. It just helps with content creation, finding sounds, all kinds of different stuff. But you're going to want to prime it within your niche, because then it's going to be that much easier to find these large accounts or find accounts that have viral videos within your niche that you're going to steal, which we're going to get to in just a second. So what that means is just basically looking up terms within your niche, clicking on accounts within your niche and then really engaging with all of their content, maybe finding related accounts that are also within your niche from them and still continue just to engage. It's a little bit harder on Instagram to do something like this because their search engine isn't the same, but doing what I just kind of gave you the step-by-step on is the best way to prime an account within your niche. But regardless if it's primed in your niche or not, like I said, I suggest doing that. You're going to find their most recently viral videos. So step-by-step playbook is you find a viral account or a big account within your niche of whatever product you're going to be running on this Instagram account. You're going to click on their account and find their most recently viral videos. It doesn't have to be most recently, but those will perform the best. If it's a little bit older, you can still try it. We've seen those just kind of not perform that well. But let's say you find a video that's went viral within the last 3 to 5 days on one of these accounts that's within your niche. That is like the perfect gold mine of the videos that you're wanting to find. So as many of those that you can find and stack up and be posting, the better. How you're going to do this is you're going to use a tool called snappins.ai. It's like Snaptick for TikTok to download IG videos. So it's no different than Snaptick. Literally, you just put the link into snappins.ai and then it gives you the video from Instagram without any watermarks or anything like that for you to go and post. Now, there's no metadata removing needed. Just straight up post it after downloading from snappins.ai. I know this one kind of blew me away as well, but we've back tested it multiple times. You do not have to waste your time removing the metadata. It works without ever touching the metadata. You literally just download it from your competitor, post it on your account. Now, the only thing you want to focus on and actually change of the video is change the caption. You don't want to go one of one copy their caption. And you want to actually try on the caption. You can use this as another opportunity to drive engagement. So don't just be putting some bullshit. Make it make sense for the piece of content that you're posting. See how you can drive engagement somewhere else. Maybe say something like, oh, share this with a friend, or comment down below if blah, 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 right? Actually try and use this as a boost for engagement, because it really will play a big role in the video's performance. A lot of people sleep on captions. Do not sleep on captions. Now, on top of that, here's a really good content hack in general, but especially good for this method that everybody watching this video can use. So you can use viral text hooks as captions to boost engagement. I've tested this over and over and over again, and it really does help your videos perform better. So what I mean by this is, let's say it could be your own video, a competitor's video, somebody even within the dropshipping space. Stealing it from a dropshipper would be even better, because then it'll always make sense because they're selling a product. But you can go steal their text hook that they have on the video and, of course, find one that makes sense. And then you can even change a little word or two to make it make sense for your product or the theme, the niche video that you're posting, and you use that as your caption. That will almost guarantee you every time that you're using a good caption. And then, as I have right here, basically what I just said, you can still caption ideas from viral dropshipping content too. So basically just find viral videos, take their text hooks, manipulate them a little bit to make sense for the niche video that you're posting, use those as the caption. Okay, now really quick, before we move on to when to start posting for your product, I want to give everybody watching this video right now the opportunity to get personally one-on-one mentored by me, as well as having a group of assistant coaches that have all done 6 and 7 figures with organic drop shipping. And basically what we'll do is we'll just team up with you to help you finally start seeing and finding success with organic drop shipping. Picking the winning products for you that are guaranteed, then constantly dialing in all of your content for those products that we pick for you through one-on-one calls with me personally and multiple other coaches, a group chat that's basically 24/7 where we're constantly going to be making sure you're on the right track, making the right decisions at all times for any little question you may have that you're not going to be able to find on a random Reddit post, and even little things like getting access and knowing a strategy like this months before I ever make a YouTube video about it, just like all of Permill's other students. And for all of you that are watching this thinking, oh, maybe it's not for me, maybe I've done too little of revenue, maybe I don't know enough, or maybe I've done too much and there's no way they could help me, I just want to throw a few screenshots from this is literally just within the last like 6 or 7 days of results inside of Permill. Like Esteban here, who's already done over 6 figures, but of course with our help, us picking his products, us dialing in his content, back-to-back 2K days. And then over here, we have guys like Victor, who once again, still highly advanced. He's done well over $130,000 with organic dropshipping, but because of us and because of the program, he's able to continue to scale while we dial in his content consistently and make sure that he has this constant loop of winning product after winning product when it's time to move on and it's time to continue to scale more, which leads to him doing fun things like this little 4K day that he just did like 5 days ago with multiple winning products. And then on the other side of that, we have guys like Muhammad over here, who's only done 5K lifetime rev in that intermediate range, had a tiny bit of success, but nothing crazy, who is now doing 1K days overnight, waking up to 1.5K in sales and ended up doing almost a 2K day. And then we have guys like Lucas, who goes straight up from beginner, only 300 in lifetime rev, to overnight, his very first 1K day, let alone it ended up being $6,000 in a single day. And then the next day he ended up doing a little over $3,000, almost doing $10,000 in 2 days. So guys, if you're interested in getting results like these and you're interested in getting help from me personally, I'll leave a link down below in the description of this video where you can apply for Permill's Inner Circle. And if you get accepted, you'll be able to team up with me and multiple other 6- and 7-figure organic dropshippers until you're printing like these guys. But whether you want to work with me or not, the choice is completely yours. If not, you can still just continue to get all this free value that I put out on YouTube. So now let's move on to number 3, when to start posting for your product. Ever since this has kind of became a big deal, this is a question I get asked most commonly. And once again, there is nothing special to it. The most perfect time is directly after your first viral video. Nothing fancy. First day of transition, just immediately start posting 2 to 3 videos a day for the product. You don't even need to archive the niche videos, but I guess like you can, it's not going to be the end of the world, but it will make little to no difference. Now, I have down here, you can also try to see if your product vids become the tipping point if you're at a consistent 2K plus views per vid. And so what I mean by seeing if your product would be the tipping point is once you get into this sort of getting close to primed range and you're consistently getting a few thousand views per video, but nothing's went viral, you can also attempt to just start posting for your product and then see if the content for the product is enough to actually get the account to hit. And then at that point, you're off to the races. You have a primed IG, you're ripping views with your actual product. You don't even need a transition because you already have. And boom, just like that, you're printing views and sales with a primed IG. Now, some best practices and things to keep in mind. This is not a 100% success rate, but it's the closest thing that we have to it. You got to keep that in mind for really any of these strategies or hacks. There's never going to be a 100% success rate. And some of you may be asking, okay, I'll try the niche growth or I won't. That's a really bad way to look at it. Basically, probably every IG you create from here on out, it would make sense to just always niche growth them because we know for an undeniable fact, this has the highest success rate. No matter what, a higher success rate than just creating an account, warming it up, and then posting your product on there. So it would almost be foolish not to niche growth basically every single IG account you create from here on out. If after you switch to your product and your views go down, because we have seen this, right? You finally get everything primed, you have a viral video, and then you're starting to post for your product, and then you'll be 2 or 3 days into posting for your product and everything starts going to shit. So if this happens, you're just gonna go back to niche growth until the views are back to being consistent and high, and then rinse and repeat until your product videos start performing properly. So it's almost just gonna be like this constant process of dialing it in, if that makes sense, right? So let's say you finally get it primed, you have a viral video from within your niche, and then you start to post your product. Okay, it doesn't hit, back to niche growth. Build it back up, and then transition product. Okay, it doesn't hit again, build it back up with niche, and eventually, no matter what, your account will be so primed that your videos will actually start getting the views they need. Of course, keeping in mind that you are actually making good content. But with that being said, if you guys have any more questions on the niche growth method, leave a comment down below of this video. I'll try to respond to as many as I can. And I hope this was super valuable for everybody watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.